Now we review the 2022 film Bones and All. Okay, so I just saw Bones and All, which is before it is anything else, it is a coming-of-age film, but it has horror elements. Okay? Before I get to that, of course, let me remind you that if you'd like our world to be a little less horrible, you can comment, like, and subscribe, because for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean out of every time I do that. So anyway, what you have in Bones and All is essentially the coming-of-age story of some vampire-like person, and her type of vampire is called an eater. In the story, they call them eaters. And what an eater is a person with heightened senses, or at least a heightened sense of smell, that has an incredible compulsion to eat human flesh. And much like a vampire, it gets to the point where, they can't stop themselves from trying to eat human flesh. So it's something that's very annoying to them. It's like at the most inopportune time, it's like, oh, look at my hand here. I've got this new nail polish. Your hand is delicious. Kind of thing. So yes, right. And this is a period piece set in, the 1980s, where they did not have as much technology as they have today, and it wasn't as wasn't as easy to track people. So it's a little more plausible that this whole thing is going on. And yes, you've got this young woman who is an eater, has been eating her whole life, but never really understood who she was. And the story basically begins with her father leaving her and saying, look, what you are is something I can't deal with. I can't help you anymore. You're on your own. Best of luck to you. So there's that dynamic. And the exposition that is dumped on you via the father's cassette tape to his daughter, telling her life story, so that, it's like, look, this is how I know, and this is what I know, and this is all these things that come about. All right? And then along her way, because of her heightened senses, she meets others like her, who, have various impacts on her life. Okay? And she has to deal with, like a vampire would, the morality of having to consume human flesh. All right? Very emotional movie. Very well done. The standout is Mark Rylance, I think is the name, who played Sully. And he is just melds into this character perfectly, and is it's the thing that you're going to remember the most about this movie, because it's the strongest character in the movie. And he's sort of like that bad penny that keeps turning up, And again, this being a coming-of-age story, the thing about coming-of-age stories is we've all come of age. Even very young people have matured in some way, so it speaks to all of us. It truly does speak to all of us. It has a very distinctive, relatability to it, as we all, we've had that moment in our life when we felt very fringe of society, and we had to understand our place in things, okay? Very much so. I will say that due to this movie not having much of a plot, other than, this is my life and I'm going to try to live it, the ending to me felt very tacked on. It's like, okay, we need an ending, let's just get one. It's not to say that these endings were not, the ending was not good or was not well shot, and the special effects in that particular ending are excellent. It leaves you with this profound closure, but it did feel, it's one of those things where, like, there's just that one thing that's kind of left dangling for me, and I didn't much care for it. In the larger scope of things, you also have to ask yourself, well, if these things exist, why don't we hear more about them? I mean, almost every eater except for the main character is an oracle character. And the father is an oracle character, though he does not apparently, because this is something you're born with. So, it's everybody is giving you these little bits of the story, but it's like, okay, is this where the myth of vampires or werewolves came from? Where did this come from? Is that is also left dangling. And again, it's like basically these are vampires. The same thing. A vampire has to drink human blood. These people have to eat human flesh. And they don't have the same powers as vampires, but, they're nullified so they can be much more relatable. And they appear to age like normal people as well. That's a thing. All right. So, a lot of people are saying that this movie is unique. And I will say it's a unique take on vampires. It is a slow burn, but if you're a fan of the A24 films, or if you are a fan of films like, say, Us and Nope, I would say that this film, it has a slightly stronger internal logic than Us, and it is more about substance than story. So, yes, whereas I think you might still be able to find it in the cheap house theaters. Bones and all, I'm pretty sure I caught the very end of its screenings. But this film does go on your watch list somewhere in the middle. It is a film that you should definitely see at some point. Okay? It's not an absolute must-watch. It's not a, oh my God, run out and watch it. But it is unique enough that you should definitely see if you like it, because it's kind of it's destined to be a cult film. It truly is destined to be a cult film, and everyone should really, it's one of those films that everyone should have on their watch list, like Eraserhead and like Wet Hot American Summer. It's one of those films, I mean, you may not like it, but you really should see it to see if you like it, because the people that like it really like it, and the rest of us kind of feel it's just a little slow. All right, so there it is. Middle of your watch list, solid film. Again, not saying run out and see it, but definitely there are going to be people that fall in love with this movie. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard. Hairball. Hi folks, Randall the Rat here, reminding you once again to comment, like, and subscribe, because this channel will buy a bracelet from the company 4Ocean for every 1,000 subscribers. And when they do that, that means that they'll pull a pound of trash out of the ocean. Now, you humans have put a lot of trash in the ocean, and we need to get a lot of trash out of the ocean. So not only should you comment, like, and subscribe, but you should probably share this with your friends. Or I'll eat you. I might eat you anyway, because I'm a rat that loves to eat people, but hey, comment, liking, and subscribing means I'm less likely to eat you.